Tem aqui muito rei. Rei tem 2, 3, 4, 5. Mas Deus, agora ele sabe quem é.
Rei tem monte, ele também.
Imagine this. A boy born in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, amidst poverty and chaos, playing barefoot on dusty streets while dreaming of becoming a star. That boy, small in stature but immense in talent, would go on to conquer the world of football. We are talking about Romário de Sousa Faria, a man who transformed the sport with his genius and irreverence.
O Brasil pode fazer o segundo, atenção, vamos com o Romário! Gol, Brasil! Romário cobrando o penal. Cafu chegou, bateu, cruzou, o goleiro estava fora. Ainda o Cafu para trás. Gol cinematográfico, é o gol de número 500.
O lance sozinho, recuo, o esforço do goleiro. Bonito toque, faz de cabeça, Romário! Gol! Você está revendo o lance e depois nós vamos recuperar para você uma imagem do Romário, fez questão de levantar a camisa nesse momento tão especial para ele. Você está vendo aí a câmera.
Aí também, caprichou Bebeto, olha a chance, olha o gol! Olha o gol! Olha o gol! Brasil! Romário número 11! O Silva, um trator, roubou mais uma. Enfiou para Romário, posição legal, saiu o goleiro, fez a finta, lá vai Romário, é gol! Romário de novo! Que beleza, Romário! Goleiro do lado!
Born on the 29th of January, 1966, Romário grew up on the narrow and dangerous streets of Jacarezinho, a place where dreams often get trapped in cycles of violence and inequality. But he was different. From an early age, his talent with the ball caught the eye. He had no fear of facing bigger players or challenging the expectations life had set for him. Like many Brazilian children, he saw football as an escape, a hope, a way to change his destiny. At the age of 13, Romário was discovered by a scout from Vasco da Gama, a historic club in Rio that became his first major platform. There, his innate talent and goal-scoring ability quickly advanced him through the youth ranks and into the first team. It was at Vasco where he began to build his reputation as a lethal striker, someone who seemed magnetically drawn to the ball and had an almost supernatural ability to find the back of the net. In his early years as a professional, Romário was already known for his goal-scoring instinct and charismatic personality. In 1988, he was instrumental in Vasco winning the Campeonato Carioca, one of the most prestigious titles in Brazilian football. However, what truly placed him on the international radar was his performance in the 1988 Seoul Olympics, where he led Brazil to the final and finished as the tournament's top scorer with 7 goals. Although Brazil took home the silver medal, Romário had made it clear that he was a rising star. Romário's talent did not go unnoticed, and in 1988 he signed with PSV Eindhoven in the Netherlands. This was a crucial step in his career, allowing him to showcase his quality in the demanding European football environment. At PSV, Romário quickly became a fan favorite, scoring goals with almost insulting ease. Over 5 seasons at the club, he scored 165 goals in 167 matches, an impressive tally that cemented his reputation as one of the world's best forward. What made Romário special was not just his ability to score, but how he did it. His goals were a blend of pure technique, intelligence, and a touch of arrogance. He could dribble past multiple defenders with a single move and finish with a composure that disarmed any goalkeeper. In the Netherlands, he also began to showcase his irreverent personality. He was not a fan of training or strict rules, but when it came to match day, he always delivered. Romário was not only famous for his goals but also for his defiant attitude. During his time at PSV, there were multiple stories reflected his off-field lifestyle. For instance, on one occasion, he returned late from a trip to Brazil just before a crucial Champions League match. Despite the criticism, he responded with a hat trick, making it clear that he could back up his excesses with otherworldly performances. His coach at the time, Bobby Robson, described him as an indomitable genius. While shining in Europe, Romário also became a key figure for the Brazilian national team. His performance in the 1989 Copa America, where Brazil was crowned champion on home soil, was another critical moment. In that tournament, he scored the decisive goal against Uruguay at the Maracanã, redeeming Brazilian football from the traumatic Maracanazo defeat of 1950. It was a symbolic moment that marked the beginning of a special relationship between Romário and the Brazilian fans. Romário was a player who evoked extreme emotions. For his fans, he was a genius, a player who could decide matches with a single move. For his detractors, he was arrogant and undisciplined. However, even his critics could not deny his greatness. His playing style, based on quick movements, precise finishing, and almost supernatural confidence, made him unique. He was the kind of player who could turn an ordinary play into something extraordinary. The early stage of Romário's career was filled with moments that signaled his destiny as one of the greatest in world football. From the streets of Rio to Europe's biggest stadiums, his trajectory showed that pure talent and determination could overcome any obstacle, yet the best was still to come. On the horizon were Barcelona, the 1994 World Cup, and a legacy that would forever change the history of football. In the summer of 1993, after dazzling the football world in the Netherlands, Romário joined FC Barcelona. The club was then at the peak of its powers, with the legendary Johan Cruyff at the helm, shaping what became known as the Dream.
No Barcelona eu perguntei, mister, é o seguinte, eu tenho carinho muito grande de jogar com a camisa 11. Apesar de eu ter jogado no PSV com a 9, eu queria ver se tu pode deixar eu jogar com a 11. Ele, não. Tá bom. Aí quando eu saí, peraí, não vai querer saber o porquê do não? Eu falei, não, tá dizendo que não, mas por quê? Ele, pelo simples fato de que no meu time, o melhor sempre joga com a 10. Porra, depois que o cara mete uma dessa pra mim.
Romário's arrival was not just a signing, it was an event. Barcelona fans believed he was the final piece needed to elevate their already star-studded squad, which included Hristo Stoichkov, Michael Laudrup, and Ronald Koeman, to the next level. Romário's impact was immediate. On his La Liga debut, he electrified the Camp Nou with a hat-trick against Real Sociedad, signaling to the world that Barcelona had signed a one-of-a-kind talent. He played with audacity and flair, leaving defenders helpless with his signature moves, feints, flicks, and pinpoint finishes. His technical mastery and eye for goal were unmatched, and the fans adored him. By the end of the season, Romário had scored 30 goals in La Liga, earning the Pichichi Trophy as the league's top scorer. His brilliance was central to Barcelona clinching the league title that year, solidifying their status as Spain's dominant force. One of Romário's most iconic performances came on January 8, 1994, in El Clásico against Real Madrid. The match was billed as a clash of titans, but Romário turned it into a one-man show. In front of a roaring Camp Nou, executed a dazzling cowtail feint, effortlessly wrong-footing the defender before calmly slotting the ball past the goalkeeper. The move became emblematic of Romário's artistry, combining creativity and ruthless efficiency. This performance didn't just win 3 points, it cemented Romário's place as a Barcelona legend. Fans immortalized him in chants, and his name became synonymous with footballing magic. While Romário's exploits on the pitch were extraordinary, his off-field personality sometimes clashed with Johan Cruyff's disciplined philosophy. Romário was a free spirit who didn't shy away from expressing himself, often bending team rules to suit his lifestyle. One of the most famous anecdotes about their relationship came when Romário asked for extra time off to attend Carnival in Rio de Janeiro. Cruyff, always pragmatic, agreed, but under one condition. Romário had to score 2 goals in the next match. True to his word, the Brazilian delivered both goals within "to catch my flight," he reportedly said. Cruyff's challenging, Barcelona's domestic dominance in 1993 and 94 set them up as favorites for the UEFA Champions League. With Romário leading the attack, they seemed unstoppable. However, the final against AC Milan proved disastrous. Barcelona, heavily favored, suffered a crushing 4-0 defeat. Romário, marked tightly by Milan's disciplined defense, couldn't make the impact fans had hoped for. This loss, though bitter, didn't overshadow Romário's individual brilliance. By season's end, his breathtaking performances had earned him the FIFA World Player of the Year award, cementing his status as the best footballer on the planet. Romário's time at Barcelona was brief, lasting just over 2 years, but it was filled with unforgettable moments. His departure in early 1995, following tensions with the club and his growing desire to return to Brazil, marked the end of an era. Despite the brevity of his stay, his legacy at Barcelona remains untouchable. If Romario's club career established him as a footballing genius, his performance in the 1994 FIFA World Cup elevated him to a legendary status. Brazil had not won the tournament since 1970, and the weight of expectation was immense. The national team needed a hero, and Romario stepped up to answer the call. Romario's journey to the World Cup was not smooth. Just a year earlier, he had been excluded from the national team due to conflicts with coach Carlos Alberto Parreira. However, when Brazil's qualification campaign hit a crisis, Parreira had no choice but to recall him. Romario's response was immediate and decisive. In a crucial qualifier against Uruguay at the Maracanã Stadium, Romario scored both goals in a 2-0 victory, securing Brazil's place in the World Cup and reigniting the nation's hopes. As he left the stadium that day, Romario confidently told reporters, "We're going to the United States to win the World Cup. If we don't, you can blame me." In the tournament, Romario formed a legendary partnership with Bebeto, creating one of the most iconic attacking duos in football history. Their chemistry on the field was unparalleled, with Bebeto's finesse and work rate complementing Romario's explosive brilliance. Together, they delivered some of the tournament's most memorable moments. One such moment came during Brazil's quarterfinal match against the Netherlands. After Bebeto scored, he celebrated with a now-famous baby-rocking gesture, honoring the birth of his child. Romario and teammate Mazinho joined in, creating one of the World Cup's most enduring images. Throughout the World Cup, Romario was Brazil's talisman. His ability to score decisive goals and create opportunities seemingly out of nowhere made him indispensable. In the group stage, he scored in all 3 matches, including a stunning finals, sending Brazil to their first World Cup final in 24 years. On July 17, 1994, Brazil faced. The match was a tense defensive battle, with neither side able to score in regular or extra time. For the first time in World Cup history, the title would be decided by a penalty shootout. Romario stepped up to take Brazil's 3rd penalty. With millions watching, he calmly slotted the ball into the net, displaying the unshakable composure that defined his career. Moments later, Roberto Baggio missed Italy's final penalty, and Brazil were crowned world champions. The celebrations that followed were unforgettable. Romario, named the tournament's Golden Ball winner as the best player, had fulfilled his promise to the nation. His 5 goals in the tournament were crucial, but his influence went far beyond statistics. He was the orchestrator, the leader, and the symbol of Brazil's resurgence, symbolic a moment of national pride and a reminder of their country's place at the pinnacle of world football. After conquering the world with Brazil in the 1994 World Cup, Romario's career took a significant turn. While many players would aim to extend their European dominance after such a triumph, Romario chose a different path. Motivated by his love for his homeland and a desire to reconnect with Brazilian football, he returned to Brazil to begin a new chapter marked by records, drama, and relentless goal scoring. Romario briefly returned to FC Barcelona after the World Cup, but tensions between him and the club had reached a breaking point. His free-spirited nature and frequent trips back to Brazil clashed with Johan Cruyff's disciplined system. By early 1995, Romario left Barcelona, marking the end of an unforgettable yet brief era at the Camp Nou. Romario returned to Brazil and signed with Flamengo in 1995, where he was welcomed as a national hero. For fans, he represented more than just a footballer. He was the embodiment of Brazilian flair and excellence. Romario wasted no time making an impact, scoring with his trademark efficiency and entertaining the crowds with his unique style. His time at Flamengo was filled with spectacular performances, including hat-tricks and decisive goals in crucial matches. However, his off-field lifestyle frequently made headlines. Known for his love of Rio's nightlife, Romario often found himself at the center of controversies. Despite this, his form on the pitch was rarely affected, proving that his talent could rise above distractions. In addition to Flamengo, Romario played for other major Brazilian clubs, including Vasco da Gama and Fluminense. His return to Vasco, the club where his professional journey began, was particularly successful. In the year 2000, Romario led Vasco to win the Campeonato Brasileiro and the Copa Mercosul, further cementing his legacy as a club legend. One of the most iconic moments of Romario's career came on May 20th, 2007, when he scored the 1,000th goal of his career. The goal came from the penalty spot in a match against Sport Recife at the São Januário Stadium. While some critics questioned the validity of the tally since it included goals from youth matches and friendlies for Romário and his fans, the milestone symbolized his longevity and unmatched instinct as a striker. The celebration that followed was emotional, with Romário dedicating the achievement to his family, teammates, and the fans who had supported him throughout his journey. Romário's charisma was as remarkable as his talent. His famous declaration, "When I was born, God pointed his finger and said, 'That's the guy," reflected the confidence that defined his career. This self-assurance, combined with his goal-scoring prowess, made him an icon not only in Brazil but around the world. As Romário's playing career began to wind down, his impact extended beyond the pitch. In 2010, he transitioned into politics, running for a seat in the Brazilian Chamber of Deputies. His campaign resonated with voters, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds who saw in him a champion for social causes. As a politician, Romário focused on issues close to his heart, including education, healthcare, and the rights of people with disabilities. Inspired by his daughter Ivy, widespread respect, even among those who had once doubted his commitment to public service. In 2014, Romário was elected to the Brazilian Senate, where he could same determination and boldness that defined his playing day. He remained unapologetically authentic, using his platform to inspire change and advocate for those in need. On his grandest stages, he left an indelible mark on football and beyond. Even after hanging up his boots, Romário's influence remained strong. As a politician, he leveraged the same passion and fearlessness he displayed on the pitch to fight for social justice and reform. His journey from a young boy playing barefoot in the favelas to a celebrated football icon and a respected public figure inspired countless individuals, both in Brazil and around the globe. Romário's achievements on the field are legendary. He is one of the most prolific goal scorers in the history of football, with over 1,000 career goals. His performances at clubs like Vasco da Gama, PSV Eindhoven, and Barcelona, as well as his pivotal roles of all time. His ability to deliver in the most critical moments and his artistry with the ball made him a player admired by fans and peers alike. But Romário's legacy goes beyond statistics and trophies. He was a player who brought joy and excitement to millions of fans. His audacity, confidence, and unique playing style made football feel magical. He was never afraid to break the mold, whether it was with his breathtaking goals or his rebellious attitude off the pitch. Expressive artist. Today, Romário's name is synonymous with greatness. He remains a symbol of hope and determination, showing that no matter where you come from, it is possible to rise above adversity and achieve extraordinary success. His story resonates with those who dream of overcoming their circumstances and making an impact on the world. As a footballer, Romário entertained millions and redefined what it meant to be a striker. As a politician, he continued to fight for equality and social change, proving that his influence extended far beyond the stadium. Whether on the pitch or in the political arena, Romário has not just from skill, but from the courage to be different, the drive to excel, and the determination to make a difference. His legacy lives on in the hearts of football fans and in the lives of those he has touched through his advocacy and leadership. Even as time passes, the name Romário continues to inspire. He is celebrated as a player who brought brilliance to the game, a leader who fought for change, and a man who lived life with passion and purpose. In every goal scored, every memory shared, and every dream pursued, Romário